Now, over the years of running and testing out products on the channel, I've tried out lots of different hydration vests and running packs from all kinds of brands, including Salomon, Nike, Innovate, Ultimate Direction, Harrier, Instinct, Camelback, and lots more. And some of them have performed really well and impressed me, and if I'm honest, some not so well. But today we're taking a look at a hydration vest from a brand that maybe doesn't get as much exposure as some of those other bigger brands, but whenever I've tested out any of their kit on the channel, I've been really impressed with quality, performance, innovation, and attention to detail. So today we're going to give you the lowdown on the Kailas Fuga Air 8 V4 hydration vest. I'm going to give you a few facts and figures, then I'm going to break down the construction in a bit more detail, and we're going to wrap the video up telling you all about how this vest has performed over the last month of testing. Welcome back everyone, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So we are back with a good old running gear review today, and we are taking a closer look at a hydration vest model that I've actually tested out on the channel before, I would say around 2 years ago. So obviously this is the latest version of the vest and it has had quite a few updates since I last tested it, including the fact that you can now attach a super functional pole quiver to it. So if you are in the market for your first ever running pack or hydration vest, or you're just looking to upgrade your existing model, definitely stay tuned till the end of the video because I've been impressed with how this vest has performed in testing. But first up, let's start off with some facts. So the Fuga Air 8 V4 retails on the Kailas website for £123. Weight-wise, it is a super light running vest, so comes in at only 198 grams in a medium, and the overall storage capacity is 8 litres, hence the name Fuga Air 8. Although I would say there does seem to be a lot of storage space for an 8 litre vest, including lots of very important accessible pockets. And I'd actually say it feels more like a 10 litre vest than an 8 litre, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that later in the video. It's good to see that Kailas offer this unisex vest in 6 different sizes, so from an extra small all the way up to a double XL, and I got sent mine in this red, white and black colourway. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of having white material on my hydration vest because they do take a bit of a hammering when you use them in long races, and all that white material tends to end up a bit grubby. But believe me, that's not a problem when it comes to the Fuga Air 8 because it's actually available in 8 different colour options. Now, I know that is a little bit excessive, but it does mean there should be a colourway for everyone's tastes. As far as the construction goes, like I've already mentioned, the Fuga Air 8 is a lightweight running vest. So lots of light fabrics and weight saving measures have been put in place to keep the overall weight of the vest down to a bare minimum. The bulk of the construction is utilising an antibacterial polygene mesh and a highly breathable 3D honeycomb mesh that's actually very similar to the mesh fabric that Salomon use on their popular Advanced Skin 12 vest. And then Kailas have also worked in lots of reinforcement points at all the stress areas just for a bit of extra durability, and the vest is finished off with some nice high-vis detailing for safer nighttime running. The vest comes with 2 TPU 500ml soft flasks that have a very clever diagonal bite valve system. So those valves will actually rotate 360 degrees, making it a lot easier to drink from them when you're on the move. But it doesn't stop there with the clever system because you can also push the valve down and that is going to lock your soft flasks off. So perfect for when you're transporting your hydration vest to a race with your bottles full of fluid, or even better, if you want to carry a spare soft flask of fluid in the back of your vest, being able to push those valves down and lock the flasks off is super handy because it stops any unwanted leakage. When it comes down to storage options, the Fuga Air 8 V4 has lots to choose from, and in fact 12 different pockets to be precise. So starting off the front, and on the left hand shoulder strap up the top here, we have a small stretchy stuff pocket, perfect for stowing away your salt tablets or electrolyte tabs. And then if we move down, we can see we've got the 2 big pockets, and that's where your 500ml soft flasks are going to live. On the left hand pocket, we also have the addition of a small emergency whistle, and believe me, this is a loud whistle. Wow, a lot louder than some of the emergency whistles you get on running vests these days, and I actually think this could attract someone's attention if you're in a tricky situation. Another feature that I've always liked about the Kailas hydration vest is the bungee system that they've worked into the soft flask pocket. So we have the kind of standard bungee at the top of the pocket that you pull down tight around the soft flask lid to stop it from slipping down inside the pocket, but Kailas also work in another cord halfway down that soft flask pocket. So again, as you drink your fluid and you lose volume in that bottle, you can cinch that down on the move and it's just going to hold that soft flask in place and stop it sliding inside the pocket, which can be super frustrating. And I've found that this double cord system works really well and it stops any slippage from happening. On top of the right soft flask pocket, we've also got the addition of a small stretchy stuff pocket, but then moving down the vest is where we're going to find the bulk of the accessible storage options. So we've got a good size stretchy stuff pocket on the left and on the right, and this is where you're going to stow away your nutrition, your bars, your gels, or any running gear that you need to get to on the move, because they are super easy to access. And if I delve into the right pocket here, what do I find? Oh, it is a little rubbish bag, and even better still, it's got a drawstring and it's attached to a little plastic clip that doubles up as a key loop, so that rubbish bag can be removed if you don't like it or you don't need to use it. And take note, Salomon, I think this would have been a much better option on the new Advanced Skin 12 hydration vest rather than removing that rubbish bag completely. And then last but not least, on the left hand side of the vest under the soft flask there, we've got a nice size secure zip pocket, a perfect place to stow away your mobile phone. I got my iPhone 15 in there, no problem, so it is a good size pocket. Although to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of a mobile phone pocket that sits under the soft flask, because I'd much rather have a soft, flexible flask of water sitting against my chest and my rib cage rather than a sort of hard, unforgiving mobile phone, especially if I was running long distance. So you can see what I mean, lots of storage options on the front of the Fuga Air, but if I flip it around, we've got even more on the back. Starting off with a separate compartment for a 1.5 litre bladder. So if you are a little bit old school when it comes to your trail running and you like to still use a bladder, don't worry, you can do so with this vest. And Kailas have also included a strap and clip system, so you can clip that bladder in, making sure that it's nice and secure so it's not going to move around or slip down while you're running. Moving on to another feature that Salomon decided to ditch this time round on the latest version of the Advanced Skin 12 vest, and that is an elasticated stuff pocket that sits up high on the vest for your waterproof running jacket. And you know, I'm really not sure why Salomon got rid of it, because I've always found it a super practical, functional place to put my waterproof jacket, because it makes it very easy just to reach up, grab it out on the move when you get caught out in any changeable weather. And then the main storage on the back of the vest is kind of broken down into 3 separate compartments, and this is where you're going to stow away all your mandatory race kit, so things like, you know, spare long sleeve base layer, bivy bag, first aid kit, spare warm hat, hopefully things you're not going to need during that race or out on a long training run. I really like the way it's segregated because you can get everything organized so you know where it is. So first up, we have the main stretchy, good size stuff pocket, which has a flap closure, so making sure that everything is nice and secure and safe in there. And then dropping down to the bottom of the vest, again, a very similar size stretchy stuff pocket, so really good amounts of volume in there. And this actually doubles up because we've got an internal secure zip pocket as well. So lots of storage options, just like the front. So you can see the Kailas Fuga Air V8 does come with a lot of storage space. And then finally, when it comes to the construction, we have Kailas's clever ADF, or all-round dial fit adjustment system, on the front of the vest. And this is quite simply a corded boa-like system. So all you have to do is grab the red clip, clip that in first, and then clip in the 2 black clips at the top and the bottom. A quick turn on that adjustment wheel just to set the vest up right for your body shape, and that is it. You are ready to go running. And like I've already mentioned, you can now attach a handy pole quiver to the Fuga Air 8 V4. Now, this does have to be purchased separately from the Kailas website for £20, but it's very easy to attach it to the vest. However, if you don't want to spend that extra money, don't worry, because the vest also comes with a front mounting bungee pole system and one running along the back of the vest. So again, lots of pole carrying options to choose from, but that just about wraps up the stats, the features and the construction. So let's dive into how the Fuga Air 8 V4 has performed over the month of testing. The first thing I've got to say is I've always been a big fan of the Kailas hydration vests when it comes to the fit and the lightweight construction. So they're always very comfortable to run in. I've never had any issues with the fit or rubbing or chafing or anything like that. They sit nice and high up the back, so it makes them feel very secure and pretty much bounce free, even when I've had them fully loaded with kit. And I would say this vest is a bit of a TARDIS. Now, sorry for the Doctor Who reference if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, the vest is very compact looking. It doesn't look like it's got a lot of storage, but you really can squeeze a lot of running kit in here. So I suppose in a roundabout way, it's like a Doctor Who's TARDIS. To test that theory out, I grabbed out a basic mandatory kit for a summer 100-mile race, and I fitted everything in my Fuga Air 8 V4 pretty easily, if I'm honest. So for an 8-litre vest, there's plenty of space to stow away all of that kit, and because the storage is nicely segregated, you can get everything really well organised in all of the different pockets. I've always been a big fan of the Kailas soft flasks and the pocket system, and I think having those 360-degree rotating bite valves is super practical, and it does make it easier to drink your fluid when you're out there on the run. I also think the fact you can push the valves down to lock the bottles off is super handy to stop any unwanted leakage, and that's just an added bonus. And I actually almost forgot to mention a really nice attention to detail. So Kailas have actually added this nice shiny silicone tarpaulin on the inside of the soft flask pocket, making it very easy to slide those bottles back in the vest once you've filled them up. And it really does work well, although I would say it is a bit trickier on the right hand pocket because we have the addition of that stuff pocket on the front. As well as the secure and lightweight feel, I've found the vest very breathable due to the honeycomb mesh that's been used in the construction, and I've always got on really well with the ADF closure system that Kailas use on their hydration vests. This time round on the V4 it's been updated, so we've got the addition of these little sort of rubberized crosses that work well and help keep those cords from tangling up when you unclip from the vest. But I just find that this boa type closure system works so well, and you can really sort of personalize the fit of the vest, but it also makes it very easy to make any micro adjustments to the vest while you're running. And then lastly, I think it's a great addition being able to attach a handy pole quiver to the new Fuga Air 8. You know, whenever I'm doing a long mountainous race, I always tend to go for a pole quiver rather than the bungee cord system, because it just allows me to get my poles stowed away nice and securely on the back of the vest, and I hardly know I'm carrying them, but when I do need them, I can just reach over, pull them out, and off I go. So you can see it really has been another positive experience testing out a Kailas hydration vest, but I have got one negative, and that comes down to the plastic toggles on the cord system halfway down those soft flask pockets. Because those toggles are made out of hard plastic, what I've found is when I've had to pull those cords in to tighten up around the soft flask as I'm drinking my fluid, it makes those cords just the right length that those plastic toggles catch on the ADF system on the right or on the red buckle on the left, and as I'm running, I'm getting this constant which does become very annoying. Now, I know it's not the end of the world. I did sort of play around with it and tuck it away, and what I'm going to do in the future is put a bit of soft tape around them, like a bit of kinesiology tape, just to stop that plastic hitting plastic. But I think in the future it would be a good idea if they made those toggles out of a softer material. And on that note, it brings today's review video to an end. Really hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope you found it helpful in some kind of way. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link to the Kailas website in the description below in case you want to check out the vest in a bit more detail, or you want to take a look at any of their other great trail running products. I've got to say a big shout out to Kailas for sending the vest out for the purpose of testing, and this review video really is appreciated. And if you are in the market for a hydration vest or a running pack we've already got some great content on the channel, from other product reviews to helpful buying guides. So I'll also link those videos down below. But for now guys, thanks for watching. It really is appreciated. We'll be back on the channel very soon. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. I actually forgot to mention something earlier, a really nice attention to detail. So Kailas have added this nice shiny sort of tarpaulin, small stretchy stuff pocket for your waterproof jacket. I'm really not sure why Salomon decided to get rid of it this time round, because a very clever diagonal bite valve system. So those valves will actually rotate 360 degrees.